Hey guys, back here again with another Kunio-kun game. This is actually the first Kunio-kun game. I can't quite remember what all of this means, but I know the bottom part of this says Kunio-kun, and the top part is in kanji, which I can't really read all that well. Doesn't look like there's any sort of demo or anything, which is perfect, because I wanted to talk about a couple of things before I start playing. I swear I just heard a cat burr behind me. I don't know. First off, the order in which I play games sometimes makes no sense. More logically, it makes sense to go back to the original game chronologically and then move forward from there. If you're going to explore a game and try to understand its impact and influence in video game history. Unfortunately, I am... how do I want to put this? I didn't always play the original game, so I typically start with the game I have the most emotional attachment to. So for Kunio-kun, Crash and the Boys was where I started. And then I had actually played Renegade, but didn't really care that much about it, so I played that one next. And then I sort of go back and explore what's adjacent from there. So the order in which I explore video games doesn't necessarily make sense. Like Defender of the Crown, I started with the NES version, which is one of the later ports in the retro era. But that's the game I played when I was a kid. And then I just kind of went through and explored all the adjacent ones. I explored the Amiga one because that was original. I explored the Commodore 64 one because I had a Commodore 64. I just never played Defender of the Crown on it. So you kind of see like the reasoning, my logic there. The other thing I wanted to talk about was I hate this era of arcade games. So in this era of arcade games, you put in a quarter, you press start, the game is crazy hard. When you die, it kicks you back to the title screen. There are no continues. It's one of the reasons I think I actually recorded the footage for the Jackal arcade game, which was called Top Gunner, and then just couldn't bring myself to actually edit it because it would basically, I played for about, I don't know, not even 5 minutes, died, and that was it. That was the single player experience in Jackal and Top Gunner for the arcade. I just don't like that era. Give me Golden Axe and you die, and then you just put in more quarters, and you get to continue from where you left off. You don't lose any progress. Give me that era. Or the sequel to Golden Axe, Return of Death Adder, or whatever it's called, where it's the same thing. Put in a quarter to continue, but now the action and graphics are just over the top. That's my favorite era of arcade games. All right, I have a cat that's meowing at me, and I think I'll be able to edit out most of what he's done so far, but gotta go deal with him, so let's see if I can find a way to get him to be quiet. Yesterday when my cat was bugging me, I put him in a cupboard for like 2 hours before you go and think I was abusing him. He happily stayed in that cupboard for 2 hours and came out when he was done being in the cupboard. He likes to be in high places, and he likes to be in dark and closed spaces, so he just went in the cupboard and chilled and stopped meowing at me for 2 hours and then came out when he was ready to come out. A very weird cat. Anyway, the reason I was talking about how much I hate this era of arcade games is I am going to openly use save state abuse to get through this game because I cannot stand the fact that if I mess up on level 3, for example, I have to start the whole game over again, and there's no lives and continues. There actually is the dip switches. You can put in 1 extra life, and you don't even continue from where you died. You go back to the beginning of the level, and then that's it. And you might earn up to 1 extra life during the whole game. It's just this era of arcade game. It's just not my favorite. So anyway, I will openly be using save state abuse to get through it. This game's pretty brutal. I even have the dip switches set to the easiest. And it's still Still just too much. Alright, let's try a level 1. So presumably that's Hiroshi getting beat up. And then here comes Kunio-kun to go chase these guys off. Now, first thing about this game is the controls. They're not bad, but they take some getting used to. So remember in the NES, Renegade and Kunio-kun, you have the A and the B buttons, or the B and the A buttons I should say, because it's backwards in Nintendo. And the direction you're facing is what you do. So if I'm facing left and I press B, I punch. A is kick. We have the same idea going on here. By the way, that's the boss that just ran out here. The level actually ends as soon as the boss gets involved. And I defeat the boss, I should say. Ouch. Okay, so anyway. Nintendo's got B and A, right? Ouch. So the arcade has 3 buttons. So there's a left attack button, and a right attack button, and a jump button. So... ugh. I also don't like the fact that the bosses come out and start beating you up too while you're at it. So anyway, the complexity is the jump kick. I have to press the middle button, jump, and the attack direction button. Alright, he's dead. So jump and then the attack direction button to do a jump kick. So I have an extra button in the middle that's throwing me off. And there's no real reason for a jump button other than the jump kick. So why? Why do I have 3 buttons? Well, I can do a backwards jump kick, if that makes sense. Oh, I've meant to do save state, so... because I'm probably gonna die in this level. Got too busy talking. Anyway, if I have to redo level 1, I'll just skip over it. So... oops. Yeah, if you saw that, I can kind of do like a hurricane kick too. But your timing has to be really good or these guys just run you over. First time I got to this level, I just got ran over by these guys. That's it. Just couldn't even get to the fighting part. You see how the timing has to be perfect. Gosh, cannot hit this guy. You also have to defeat the boss before that time limit is up too. The bosses line up. The bosses line up with the Famicom versions. Ouch. Ouch. Yeah, I'm gonna die. There's no way I'm gonna beat this boss. I have 2 bars of life left and the boss isn't even in here yet. You should remember I'm on the easy mode. Yeah. 1 more hit and I'm dead. There it is. I'm dead. Yeah, so I'll go ahead and edit. Pack up. That's it. Boom. Dead. That's as far as you can get. I do like to put in my name though. in English games, I always put bad as my name. So in Japanese games, I always put in IE. So IE. All right. Anyway, yeah, like I said, I'm going to go ahead and edit back up to level 2. So this game is so infuriating. So I keep getting... I can't even get past the first level. I definitely need to save state in between levels. So by the time I timed out, I've been getting the boss to no life, but I can't get him to fall down, and the game doesn't say you're dead until you're out of life and fall down. So that stinks. Like I said, this is an era of arcade games that I really don't like. Because you can kind of just spam your jump attack at him, but then if he won't fall down, he won't fall down. And then his minions, I can't separate them out and kill them. And then you can't knock him off because he does the same thing as he does in the Famicom version, which is fall towards you. But yeah, see, I got two guys with sticks pounding on me. They're programmed to not go near the edge. So yeah, I see this same kind of thing. I actually timed out last time. Like, I'm winning. And then, as always, the controls are some of the hardest things to explain about a game. You see, another time he dies. What the heck? Definitely save stating. I can remember how to do this. Yes. The controls are not very responsive. Your guy just feels very sluggish to me. It's one of the best improvements that we made in video games is eventually we got the control down really well. Like, you compare this to, like, say, Streets of Rage 2. It's a game that has... That's cool. Motorcycle goes in the water. It's a game that just has really tight controls. Even if the enemies do some pretty BS things sometimes. And then, although I like the control scheme that the way you're facing determines your attack, you don't have control over when that changes. Because Kunio-kun will turn around whenever he feels like it. So the first two bosses, you basically just want to jump kick them into oblivion. It's actually true of the third boss as well, but she's got a specific strategy you have to use with your jump kicks. And then this one's a little bit easier to kill the ads if you can just knock them into the water. See, it's frustrating because like the jump kicks won't knock this guy down. There. Then the guy walks off because his boss is dead. Looks like I got an extra life, maybe. Alright. Go ahead and save. I think I'm using B right now. So there's a gang of girl juvenile delinquents. Now, the girls, for some reason, are really easy to pick off with just punches to the face, for the most part. See, like, when I grab them, it's like really unresponsive when you grab them. So like Streets of Rage, if I grabbed an enemy, especially if I was like Blaze, who's decently fast, I would just throw the enemy right into the enemies behind me like immediately. And I think that's kind of when we perfected the side-scrolling beat 'em up, really. When the controls feel good. Alright, I'm trying to kill these ads before I take on the boss, because she's got a really specific strategy that if you don't use it, you're just dead, really. You try punching her, she has a combo thing that will take off like 3 bars of life. You try doing the jump kick thing, she ducks it pretty well every time. You can kind of see that already. Get away from me. See? Oof. And then she'll do this kind of running elbow thing into you. Okay, I think I can take her on now. Gosh, I hate the AI. Okay. So here's how you have to... This is so goofy. This is the way you have to fight her. You back up until she runs, and then you jump kick her. Oh! And that's when the controls got me. Because, I don't know if you saw, but I jump kicked to the wrong direction, thinking I was playing the Nintendo game. This game might have been easier if I had not played a Nintendo game before. Oof. You see she can't block when she's running. So that's the only strategy I've found that will actually work on her, because she is insanely hard otherwise. Okay, definitely safe stating after that one. Oh, by the way, every single enemy on the 4th level kills you in 1 hit. Did I mention I hated this era of arcade games? The only redeeming quality about these guys is that they are slow. But see that knife? Boom, dead. That's it. 1 hit, you're dead. So we're gonna have to get used to seeing Hiroshi getting stabbed by this guy. Come to think of it, how is Hiroshi not dead? So like I said, the redeeming quality of these guys is that they're slow. That's about it. Otherwise, the fact that they can kill you in 1 hit really stinks. They also have a ton of hit points. See? Again. Streets of Rage. You grab somebody, you throw... You actually, I think you have invulnerability frames when you're throwing somebody in Streets of Rage. This, I grab somebody and I go, oh, I'm dead, because my guy will wait at least half a second before he actually throws somebody. So that guy with the knife that's about to kill me, nothing I can do about it. What? How did he die so fast? These guys have a ton of life. Oh, see, I'm dead. So you miss 1 attack, boom, you're dead. Yeah, can you imagine playing this in the arcade? You put in your quarter, fight like crazy to get here, and these guys just come up and just one-shot you. Because you missed 1 attack. Should keep a count of how many times I have to load stage just to beat this level. So anyway, you can see why I don't normally play games that I don't like, but you know, I do find this of historical interest, so. And yes, I do know some of the strategies, like you can get these guys to stack and then they become easier to kind of beat up. But then you still have the same problem that you make 1 mistake and you're dead. And it's kind of weird because they're so slow. Any other enemies that you stack like that, one of them's going to get a lucky punch in and knock you out. These guys are so slow, you can actually stack them and beat them up like that. And then, the boss is still Sabu. See? One mistake, boom, dead. But at least now you see the strategy, right? Boss is still Sabu. Still has a gun. He's on the next screen. So at least I can save state in between, but he still has minions. Knifed in the back. Like I said, one mistake and you're dead, so no mistakes. These guys are vulnerable to you getting up on top of them and punching them, like when they're on the ground. But kind of good luck ever finding them in a place where they're vulnerable enough to do that to them. Like I maybe could have done it there. This is not a bad strategy, actually. No. See how Kunio turns around? Don't like it. See? If you grab him, you're dead. I pressed the throw button immediately when I realized I grabbed him. And that's what this game needs. It needs invulnerability frames when you initiate a throw. Honestly, in some ways, this kind of game makes me feel claustrophobic. Because I constantly feel like I can't move. Like, I try something and enemies are pounding on me. And that's why later games that got the control scheme right feel so good. Because it's like, you just feel so kind of badass. And especially like in Streets of Rage, if you do get that claustrophobic feeling, what you do is use your special attack, your A button, the defensive special power, and it clears anybody who's... But I like that, where it's like, I'm getting mobbed, I'm getting pounded on, press my special attack, and it's like the claustrophobic feeling goes away. See how many punches these guys can take? Yeah. And then I just get knifed in the back. That's pretty funny. Just gets knifed. Yeah, why did that guy die so fast? And then this guy takes a bunch of hits. These guys can't run, that's kind of interesting. Ugh. I suppose the running punch might work on these guys too, since you're... Let's see how much hit. One of them has like no hit points. And then the other three are like impossible. See? One missed punch. Dead. I mean, to be fair, Kunio-kun is insane enough to go fight 4 guys with knives and then go fight their boss with a gun. Gosh. Knifed. Dead. Every time you think you have a strategy that works. But like I said, like... Even if these guys just did like a large amount of damage, it wouldn't be as bad as the instant deaths. But yeah, one of the things that does kind of work is just to be constantly on the offense on these guys. Because they're slow. See, and why can't I get on that guy? Like, I was trying to beat him up while he's down, and it wouldn't let me. Should maybe give up on that strategy of trying to beat them up while they're down, unless they're completely isolated. Like, this guy could beat on a little bit. Oh, dead. See, and I don't understand the arcade game makers didn't understand until after this. If you you know, you can make insane enemies like this, but at least allow the players to, like, continue from where they left off. If y'all ever played the D&D arcade game, Tower of Doom, there's a point where a red dragon comes in and Party just instant kills the party. And I didn't even feel like cheated at all. I was just like, gosh, even the jump kick's too slow. I didn't feel cheated at all when the dragon came and breathed fire and killed the entire party. My friends and I, there's 4 of us playing, we all had to put in quarters. We basically all just went, oh my gosh, that was cool. And we put in quarters and then we kept playing. Whereas this game, I can't even imagine. Like, I'd put in 1 quarter, die in the first level, get frustrated that I can't continue. You know, just different expectations, I guess. Okay, so I do need to isolate these guys. That guy seems to be immune to... Oh my gosh. Okay, starting to get a groove, so maybe I can actually do this. Throw him! Gosh. Why do they have so much health? Look how many hits it takes them. Definitely saving game, jeez. Actually, I'm gonna save right before I go through the door, because... So yeah. Another room full of these guys, and Sabu. Fortunately, the gun is pretty slow too. So, in some ways, Sabu's not that bad. Except for the fact he's surrounded by knife guys. But it's very much the same, kind of isolate them. And these guys have way too much health. And then if you can actually isolate Sabu, being the boss, killing him ends the fight. And he does not have any short range attacks, so... That was messed up. I don't know if you guys saw that. I died before there was even a frame of animation for his gun attack. And I don't understand. Like, I'm going to be reviewing that footage just to see what even happened, but I was pounding on him and then suddenly I died before anything actually happened. And again, one knife to the face or gut or whatever happened there. Music's pretty good. I'll give it that. Alright, so he'll actually shoot all the way across the screen. Knifed in the back. You need to go watch one of the people speedrunning the game, whether it's tool assisted or not, you know, and they make it look so easy. But, you know, for us more casual gamers, this guy is insanely... throw him! Insanely hard. Alright, killed one of them. Just remember, the minions are pretty slow. Oh, he does have a short range attack. Haven't seen much of that. Alright, knocked out. That guy? Oh jeez, I'm out of time. I just need a pound on this guy. Alright. Gosh, 5 seconds left. Almost ran out of time. Apparently Hiroshi survived being stabbed in the gut. Got the handshake going on. And it just starts right over again. And ain't no way I'm doing this. Okay. This is demo mode. Huh. Different music for the demo mode, attract mode, whatever you want to call it. Anyway, I just put in my final thoughts. I already said I hate this era of arcade games. Honestly, I should look at the timing of all this because I believe this came before Double Dragon, possibly. And if that's true, this would have been somewhat genre defining. You also have to remember that dude just fell off the platform. What an idiot. The arcade Double Dragon was way different than the Nintendo Double Dragon. But yeah, this era of arcade game, Top Gunner, Renegade, even Rygar, I hated the lack of continues. So it's fun to explore them with save state, but there's no way I'd go back and play these on actual hardware. If you were somebody who beat this game on original hardware, you seriously have my respect. Kudos to you. I want to remind you that this was on the easy mode. I believe there was a normal mode, hard mode, and a very hard mode, depending on the diff switches. So that's how hard this game is. Anyway, we'll check out the US version of this one as well. Again, it's a reskinning, so instead of Kunio-kun, it's Renegade. But that's what we'll check out next.